understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here.
Weapons has steadily become one of the most highly anticipated cinematic experiences on the horizon, drawing attention for its enigmatic premise, tightly guarded production details, and a bold vision that aims to blend psychological intensity with a narrative steeped in mystery and human frailty. Directed by Zach Cregger, who gained notable acclaim for his horror thriller debut, Barbarian, this new project ventures into even darker, more complex terrain, promising to explore the deep-seated fears and violent impulses that lie dormant in the human psyche. From the outset, the buzz surrounding Weapons was fueled by the secrecy enveloping its development and the high-profile interest it attracted across the industry. The film, shrouded in cryptic early loglines and vague descriptors, was immediately pitched as a multi-layered epic with interconnected storylines, evoking comparisons to the tone and structure of films like Magnolia and Crash, but injected with a disturbing psychological horror twist. What sets Weapons apart in an increasingly saturated thriller horror market is its ambition not just to shock or unnerve, but to explore trauma, violence, and identity through a fractured, non-linear lens. Zach Cregger has made it clear in early creative discussions that his intention was to create a film that does not rely solely on jump scares or grotesque imagery, but instead crafts a creeping, dread-filled atmosphere that stays with the viewer long after the credits roll. The ensemble cast assembled for this project is another significant draw, showcasing a diverse range of talent that reflects the film's intricate mosaic of stories and characters. Pedro Pascal leads the lineup, bringing both star power and emotional depth to a character whose morality and motivations become increasingly blurred as the story unfolds. Pascal, known for his compelling performances in series like The Last of Us and The Mandalorian, plays a central role that anchors the film's various threads, offering audiences a gateway into the interconnected stories that spiral into chaos. Opposite Pascal is Renate Reinsve, a Norwegian actress whose breakout role in The Worst Person in the World earned her international acclaim. Her involvement hints at the film's emotional core, suggesting that beneath the violence and mystery lies a story of personal reckoning and existential dread. With such a unique pair of leads, the dynamic interplay between their characters becomes one of the film's emotional centerpieces. As the narrative of Weapons unfolds, the structure reveals itself as a tightly woven tapestry of vignettes, each one examining a different individual or family impacted by a singular act of violence. These stories, while separate in time and place, gradually intertwine in startling and emotionally resonant ways, creating a sense of inevitability that propels the film toward its climax. The characters are not merely archetypes, but fully realized individuals, each battling their own demons, shaped by past decisions, societal pressures, or internal psychological collapse. Each subplot is constructed to challenge the viewer's assumptions, drawing them into situations that feel disturbingly familiar before flipping expectations on their heads. A suburban family grapples with the aftermath of a school tragedy. A grieving teenager embarks on a destructive path seeking vengeance. A reclusive writer haunted by a traumatic childhood uncovers a connection to a series of violent events, and a former soldier returning home finds his reality fractured by memories and paranoia. These narratives, while distinct, are sewn together with a common thread of unresolved violence and the weaponization of fear. Cregger's directorial choices, already lauded in his earlier work for their ability to turn mundane moments into horrifying revelations, are expected to push even further in Weapons. The cinematography employs stark contrast between light and shadow, using silence and stillness to unsettle the audience before erupting into moments of visceral intensity. The camera lingers where others would cut, inviting discomfort and contemplation, rather than release. Every scene is meticulously designed to maintain a persistent undercurrent of tension, often forcing the viewer to question what they are not seeing as much as what is shown on screen. The script is reportedly dense with symbolism and layered meanings, encouraging multiple viewings to fully grasp its themes. With cryptic dialogues, recurring visual motifs, and disjointed timelines, the film resists easy categorization. It draws from the language of horror, psychological thrillers, and even philosophical dramas, blending them into a singular vision that feels both grounded in reality and hauntingly surreal. Another striking aspect of Weapons is its sound design. Much like in Barbarian, where the use of silence and ambient noise was crucial in crafting suspense, here the soundscape is equally integral. Subtle audio cues hint at deeper connections between characters, while distorted voices and echoes reflect the fragmented mental states of the protagonists. The musical score, rumored to be composed by a collaborator with a background in experimental sound, amplifies the film's emotional beats without falling into traditional horror tropes. It pulses with unease, building dread through rhythm and restraint rather than bombast. Behind the scenes, the production of Weapons has been a masterclass in tight-lipped professionalism. Very few details have emerged about the filming process, but what's known suggests that the team prioritized atmosphere and authenticity. Filming locations were chosen for their eerie, liminal quality. Abandoned industrial towns, claustrophobic interiors, and desolate landscapes all contribute to the film's oppressive tone. The use of practical effects and minimal CGI helps maintain a grounded realism, enhancing the psychological horror by making it feel tangibly close. Cregger's collaboration with his cinematographer and editor reflects a shared vision to let the story's disorientation bleed into the visual language of the film. Scenes transition not through conventional cuts, but through visual rhymes, mirrored imagery, slow dissolves, or jarring blackouts that reflect the character's mental descent. The editing rhythm is irregular, sometimes dragging moments out to unbearable lengths and other times snapping violently from one event to another, keeping the audience on edge and off balance. Thematically, Weapons deals with more than just violence. It interrogates the reasons why violence occurs, how it is perpetuated, and what it leaves behind. It challenges the viewer to consider how trauma, isolation, and societal neglect can incubate the seeds of destruction. But it also questions the ways in which individuals and communities process, or fail to process, these events. The film refrains from offering neat resolutions or moral clarity. Instead, it presents a world where justice is ambiguous, healing is uncertain, and truth is elusive. In doing so, it compels audiences to confront uncomfortable realities about human nature and the world we inhabit. At its core, Weapons is a meditation on the cyclical nature of violence and the tools, both literal and metaphorical, we use to hurt each other. The title itself is multi-layered, referring not only to physical instruments of harm, but also to the psychological and emotional mechanisms people use to manipulate, control, or destroy. From domestic abuse and generational trauma to societal violence and personal vendettas, each narrative strand in the film illustrates a different facet of how people become both victims and perpetrators. The film's bold storytelling choices are designed to provoke discussion. Test screenings have reportedly left audiences divided, with some praising its daring structure and emotional weight, while others find its ambiguity and bleakness difficult to process. This polarizing effect may very well be intentional, as the film does not seek to please but to challenge. It holds up a mirror to the audience and dares them to look. It's also worth noting the broader implications of Weapons within the context of modern cinema. As studios increasingly lean on franchises and formulaic storytelling, a film like this, original, risky, and unapologetically bleak, represents a defiant creative gamble. Its existence reaffirms that there is still space in the industry for bold voices and complex stories that don't adhere to traditional molds. It carries the spirit of independent cinema with the backing of major talent, potentially bridging the gap between artistic integrity and mainstream visibility. As promotion ramps up, much of the marketing strategy is expected to mirror the film's tone, cryptic, haunting, and suggestive rather than explicit. Teaser trailers will likely offer fragmented glimpses, sound bites without context, disturbing images without explanation, scenes that feel more like nightmares than plot revelations. The intent is to build intrigue without spoiling the experience, allowing the film to remain a mystery until viewers are seated in theaters. Word of mouth and critical discourse will play a major role in its reception. If the buzz from early insiders is to be believed, Weapons may become one of those films that audiences can't stop talking about, not because of a twist or special effect, but because of how deeply it disturbs and moves them. It might be one of those rare films that finds a life far beyond its release, prompting essays, think pieces, and endless online theories attempting to unpack its many layers. The potential cultural impact of Weapons also lies in its ability to start conversations about real-world issues. While it is a work of fiction, The themes it touches upon, mental health, community breakdown, systemic violence, resonate with ongoing societal struggles.